Welcome to the Literature Capital. In this video, we are going to analyze Nissim Ezekiel's much popular poem, Night of the Scorpion. So, the poem was published in 1965 in an anthology called The Exact Name. Let us begin the poem. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. As you can see, the poet has used very conversational, very colloquial language and easy to understand language to state that he remembers a night means he is assuming a reflective tone to remember that time when his mother was stung by a scorpion, which means that the poet is of a much older age now. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. The villain of the poem is not villainified. In fact, the poet has an empathetic tone to state that the scorpion himself was trying to hide or take shelter from the rain. So we do not see uh, the scorpion as having inflicted pain on his mother as a villain, but that it was his predatory impulse. It was his instinct that made him do it. Parting with his poison flash of diabolic tail in the dark room. So the scorpion parted with his poison. You can observe the attitude of the poet is quite neutral towards the scorpion so far, except for this one adjective, that is diabolic tail. So only the tail of the scorpion seems to be the evil part of his body. The scorpion in totality is not the villain. He raised the rain again. So after having bitten the mother, the scorpion thought he should not tarry and he should leave the place. So he risked the rain again. He went away, leaving the mother in excruciating pain. The peasants came like swarms of flies. Now, what happens after such a thing happens in a rural area? The people surrounding, the neighbors, are so much involved in the families that they share the concern and worries of their neighbors. So the peasants, the word peasant signifies that the setting of the poem is a rural area, and they're coming like swarms of flies and buzz the name of a god 100 times. Uh, there seems to be a murmur. The faceless crowd comes with some sort of murmur, and what is there? That they are taking the name of God. So, religion provides solace, it provides comfort, it provides relief from the pain. So, they are taking the name of the God 100 times, they are chanting the name of God to paralyze the evil one. You can see the letter E of evil one is capitalized to denote that it is something important. We are referring to the scorpion as the evil one. Now, this is the opinion of the peasants and not of the poet. The poet has not used such adjectives for the scorpion. So, it is the perspective of the people of the village. So, they are in chorus, in unison, calling the scorpion the evil one. So, the evil one has to be countered with the name of the god. One more important thing that they are hoping that the name of God would paralyze the evil one, because it is one of the superstition that the movement of the scorpion would increase the effect of the poison in the bloodstream of the person bitten, in this case the mother. So following their superstitious belief, they want the scorpion to be paralyzed, to stay at a place and not be able to move, so that the uh, poison itself remains stagnant and does not spread to other parts of the body. With candles and with lanterns throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls, we can see the imagery that Nissim Ezekiel is trying to form here is a rural uh, village where you can see mud baked walls, but the candles and the lanterns they point in the direction uh, that the village is still a backward one, and we are talking about India of 1965, so it is considerably backward, or in terms of modernity, in terms of development. So you can see the setting and the overall aura of that place. Throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls means they are looking for the scorpion. The scorpion's presence is still there. He may have left, but they're all thinking about it, and so the shadows seem to imitate the shape of a scorpion. They searched for him. He was not found. The scorpion, of course, he left, so he's not to be found in the vicinity. They clicked their tongues. So this is their way to show their grief. This is their way to show the solidarity with the family. So they are clicking their tongue as a statement of feeling bad for the family. With every movement that the scorpion made, his poison moved in mother's body, they said. Notice here that Ezekiel uses the word, this phrase, they said, more than once, which means that the opinions of the people in the village were all in agreement with each other. They are like the chorus. If you consider Night of the Scorpion as a tragedy, as a Greek tragedy, then whatever the villagers are saying is like the chorus singing. And again, the fact is repeated that the movement of the scorpion would make the poison move in the mother's blood. May he sit still, they said again. So they're all praying, may he sit still, the scorpion. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. One more thing, the concept of reincarnation in Hindu religion provides this impetus to people to say that whatever harm that has been incurred on them is actually the fruit of whatever wrong the person has done in the previous birth. So they are saying the suffering of the mother is because of the sins that she may have committed in the previous birth. Again, the concept of religion and the whole system, the whole narrative is to provide some sort of justification of the pain that she is feeling, because the pain does not make sense, and you start to reason why there's crisis in pain, and you start to reason why, what good would come of it, now, how to make sense of the pain. Okay, so they're countering it, these questions with some sort of belief system. Okay, so for those who do not have recourse to medical treatment or some real action to provide some kind of solution, they take to such things. So it reflects the traditional and superstitious beliefs of the people around. May your suffering decrease the misfortunes of your next birth. And if that is not enough, if the present pain felt by the mother is because of the sins she has committed in the previous birth, if that is not sufficient enough, then they are saying that whatever extra pain she is feeling, that will actually minimize the suffering of the next birth as well. So this is the life, the cycle of life uh, has its implication both in the next birth and some effect of the previous birth. So in both the births, her suffering will be decreased. May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world. So now, if that is not sufficient enough, first they said that whatever pain she is feeling is because of the wrongdoings of her previous birth, and it will minimize her suffering in the next birth. And when we talk of this world, this birth, her personal pain will minimize the suffering of the whole society, whole world. Okay, so she will become kind of a Jesus figure who will try to expiate for the sins committed by all the other people in the world. May the sum of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. So the more pain you feel, it will balance the all the evil that is there in the whole world. May the poison purify your flesh. Again, one more reason they give for the pain is that the pain is purifying the flesh. The flesh is subject to many desires, and it is said that flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, because the mother was ambitious here. Ambition is used in a negative sense. We must not have ambition in life or desire, that is translated as calm in Sanskrit. So we should live a nishkam life, a life without desire, without ambition, they said. And again they said, notice this phase again and again. And they sat around on the floor with my mother in the center. So now the mother is at the epicenter, and they're all surrounding the mother, and they are doing nothing. All these verbal stimulations, they are trying to uh, convince the woman that her pain is not wasted, and that something good will come of it. It will help her become like a savior for all the people in the world, or it will help her expiate for her past sins. The piece of understanding on each face, everyone is agreeing with everyone else that these verbal things will actually help alleviate or the whole atmosphere. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. So again and again we get to see the repetition of more people coming, more words being said, more insects will come because the rain is there, and the rain itself continues to be the constant uh, presence. It continues to have this constant presence throughout. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. As for the mother, as for what was happening to the victim, she was groaning. The pain was actually too much, and she was twisting through and through, groaning on a mat, excruciating pain. My father, skeptic, rationalist, trying every curse and blessing. So the father was not one of those villagers who would sit idle and try to give the responsibility to the victim's own desires, or a life full of ambitions, or her sins of previous birth. So his concern is translated into some kind of action. And what action? Because he's a rationalist, he's a pragmatic person, he's a reasonable fellow, so he will try to do something instead of sitting idle. My father's skeptic rationalist, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid, whatever. So, in a desperate situation, whatever he could find, the father tried to help his wife with some sort of a real solution, or some real uh, balm for the pain. He even poured a little paraffin upon the bitten toe and put a match to it. This may not be the correct way to deal with this problem, but desperate times call for desperate measures. So, whatever the father could think of, he did. Only that the intention was correct. So, he put a little kerosene oil on the bitten part of the toe and put a match to it, thinking that it would somehow burn the poison from that part, the bitten part. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. And now we get to see the POV, the perspective of the child who just watches all these things going on around his mother, and he can see the pain, he can understand the pain of his mother, and he can see all these people trying to say one thing or the other, and his father actually trying to help things out. So the father's take is a is not a, a superstitious one, but something that is practical, something that may help. I was a flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. So there are different ways uh, used by the people to coax the lady to help her relieve the pain. And so there is a holy man who is performing his rites to tame the poison, is trying to freeze the poison at the place where the part was bitten, that is the toe, so that the movement uh, would not alleviate the would not increase the pain. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. So the pain subsided after 20 hours, after all this commotion, after all these people coming and the bitten part being set alight. After 20 hours, the poison lost its vigor and the pain subsided. My mother only said, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." And it is a very emotional take, uh, trying to specify the thinking of a mother, that she was only thankful that her children did not have to go through all that, that she bore all the pain herself, she bore the brunt herself and her children, or she's like that guardian of the family, the protective guardian of the family, who would not like her children to go through the same thing. So she's like that savior, she's like that protective shield that uh, really sheltered these other children in the house the same from going through the same. Okay, so here, Nissim Ezekiel, being a Jew, he was always considered an outsider in a country where Jews they form only a minority. And throughout the poem, he has uh, been very vocational about uh, the ill conditions of the medical facilities, the superstition. He's been very critical of the people and the country itself. But because he was an outsider, he felt that maybe his criticism may not go down well with the people, because he was, after all, an outsider. So we can see how beautifully he, with the help of few words at the end, he turns the entire conversation on its head and tries to direct us or channelize our whole conversation in the direction of the mother, where we see that, where we feel that the whole poem was about the scorpion's pain and the mother. Therefore, he is effectively hiding his criticism, his strong take on the medical facilities, health facilities, the superstitious beliefs of the people. Uh, but he has been able to hide that and try to present in the foreground the mother's love, unconditional love and affection for her children. Oh, thank you so much for attention.